Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. This is the Ready, Set, Go preview show, a show that I do every single week on Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, and it's our opportunity to talk about some news and current events. One of the big things that I try to do here on the channel, a mission statement, if you will, is to help you to make sense of comic book collecting. And we will spend some time talking about some things that are top of mind for me and might also be top of mind for you. And in addition to that, I'll be providing you with a rundown of all of the content that is going to be released from the channel over this coming week. And then we'll also be giving away a cool slab from our friends at Go Collect. And this week's book is a pretty awesome one. It is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 27. And one lucky subscriber will win this book tonight, and we'll have it mailed out to them just as soon as they provide me with their contact information. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel for some reason or another, I definitely want to encourage you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, because it makes you eligible for the giveaway that I do every single week. It also enables you to not miss out on any of the content that I release from the channel on a weekly basis. So we do have a lot of things that I want to try to get to over the course of this show. But the very first thing that I want to do is say hello to some comic book soldiers that have joined me in this live stream. And if you are if this is your first visit here to the live stream, I definitely want to encourage you to put your hand up so that we can identify you. Joey, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. TSP is in the house. My man Steve White, how you doing? Homegrown Comics sent me a super dope AOK, an act of kindness. For those that do not know what an AOK is, super dope AOK. I will not tell you what it is. You will have to stay tuned for the video, but I did want to acknowledge Homegrown Comics for hooking me up. It only took me 3 weeks to get to the post office to actually get it, but I am very appreciative of you, my friend. Tina is in the house, as always, the OG Blue Wrench. She is the regulator here in the room. If you have any issues, questions, comments, or thoughts, make sure that you hook up with one of the Blue Wrenches that is in here. And Tina is definitely helping to maintain law and order in here, mostly keeping me on track. Chuck, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. My man, Jerry, how you doing, brother? It is good to always see your name up in the list. My man, Joe, how you doing? Crypt Keeper is in here. L. Smith, Squirrel Madness, my man. It is good to see you, bro. It is good to see you. 2021 New Age Investments. I saw your unboxing the other day wearing that Go Collect sweatshirt, that super soft hoodie. I like that one. Steve, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Scrolling through the names. My man Doug, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you, my friend. As always, Randy Resnake. We have something good coming up from Randy Resnake. I do believe in maybe this week. I think this week's video coming from Randy Resnake and my man Master Blaster. Always good to see you, my friend. Freaky Louie is in the house. My man DB. For those that don't know, my name is spelled with one G. Whether you're talking about Reginald or Reggie, it is one G, hence the chant. 1G, 1G. So it's good to see you, DB. Thank you for keeping it fun. Connie, how you doing? My man Milt. All right, so definitely a pleasure to see everybody, and I want to thank you guys for spending a little bit of your time with me. As I mentioned, there are a couple of things that I want to run down in this show. And we may just also make some other stuff up. We'll see how this thing goes. But the very first thing that I want to share with you is it's a new trend. It's a new trend that we are seeing out there in the comic book market. And I honestly want to know you all's opinion of this. It is a trend that I think has come out of retailers, local comic shops, basically pushing back against publishers, saying to publishers, you need to give us more insight into what is actually coming up in comics so that we as retailers know how many books to order of a specific title. Like if something major is happening, you need to tell us so that we can maximize the opportunity, right? And so as a result of local comic shops, pushing back against publishers and publishers trying to, I guess, provide some good customer service to some degree or another, essentially what is happening is that stories are being ruined. And by ruin, I mean, we know what's going to happen in a book sometimes long before the book actually comes out. And so some of the mystery has been stripped away. Right. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It is a thing. It is a thing. And so I'm going to be interested to hear what you all think about this in the comment section, because I will go to the comment section here in a second. But there are spoilers ahead. There are spoilers ahead because part of what we do here on the Ready, Set, Go preview shows, we talk about news and current events, right? So this is a news event and it is a bit of a spoiler. So forewarned, unlike one of my videos released recently that I released where I actually revealed the spoiler and then said spoiler alert. And so, we're going to try to do it up front this time. So the 60th anniversary of the Fantastic Four is coming up. And I think that Marvel is trying to celebrate. They're trying to celebrate this and they want to do it in style with a wedding. They want to do it with a wedding, specifically a wedding of Dr. Doom. And as part of that, what they have essentially done is reveal who the bride of Dr. Doom will be. And so it's important to acknowledge here that this is not the first time that Dr. Doom has actually been married. He's been married before in like alternative universes, alternative stories. He was married to Sue Storm at one point. He was married to Valeria Richards at one point, which is like super creepy. I find that completely just inappropriate and uncomfortable. But this is not the first time that he has been married, but it is the first time, I guess, in this reality that he will be married. And so it's a secret surprise for about a month. So this is one of the covers, I think, from Mark Brooks. Yeah, this is a Mark Brooks cover. And you can see that this is a Mark Brooks cover. If you pay attention to his artwork, this is very similar to other work that he has basically put out. But this is the cover to June 2nd's Fantastic Four issue number 33. This is the second part of the Bride of Doom saga. And so basically what we're going to get is that Doom is going to marry a subject from his country, and her name is Zora. Zora has been imbued with a portion of the power cosmic. So she's basically like his wife, well, soon to be wife, and also his personal enforcer. And so I have not been reading Fantastic Four, to be honest with you, since like the first maybe 5 issues. So I have no clue what is going on, but he clearly is about to get married. He clearly at one point lost his throne and is now basically rewarding this woman, his subject, with the power cosmic and with I'm guessing a pretty nice ring as a result of her helping him get his throne back. And so this is all in celebration of the 60th anniversary of the Fantastic Four. And I think the writer for this story arc is going to be Dan Slott, and the artist is going to be RB Silva. I like RB Silva's artwork, but these two are going to be coming together to basically ring in this 60th anniversary. And so I think there was one section in here, they're basically saying that there's a lot of stuff that is going to happen in this issue. There's going to be, a little bit of love triangle, a little bit of drama that is actually happening with this. And so, Marvel is basically saying that there will be some big surprises. There will be some things that will change the status quo, some shocking revelations in the month ahead or the months ahead. So it's going to be very interesting to see what it is that they decide to do here. But with that said, I do want to go to the chat and I want to hear what you all think, right? Because we've seen DC do this and we've seen Marvel do this, where they basically reveal again a big surprise in advance of us actually getting the comic in our hand in the pursuit of providing better service to local comic shops. Like we knew the next Batman before it was actually revealed in the comic. We knew who it was, and now we know, again, to a lesser extent, right, on like the significant scale, that Doom is getting married, and we now know who she is and what it's all about. So let me see. Scrolling through some of the comments here, I think I missed a couple of them. It won't last, says Scroll Madness. It won't last. Don't be a naysayer. He said, no, it won't last. Doom only has room in his heart for Doom. Room in his heart for Doom. I like that. Well done. I don't know if that was purposeful or not, but I definitely like that, my friend. Scrolling through some of the comments here, Chris Bigger's like, nah, I'm just gonna pass. Come on, Chris. Brother, we all know that you're a DC guy, so you were going to pass no matter what, Chris Bigger. Come on, Chris Bigger. All right, let me see what else is going on in here. Wait a minute. Do you see diapers for Doom, or are you saying that Doom is going to have a baby with Zora? Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying that like Doom is about to be in adult diapers? You need to clarify that, Joey. You need to provide some additional context. Throwing out surprise there. Climbing Comics says doing well. Oh, wait, I think that was between somebody else. Let me take that off real quick. Scrolling through. Derek is like, this seems like a little bit of a gimmick. All they need is her to be in a shiny foil dress like the 90s, like a good rap video, you know, then it's a true gimmick. Scrolling through, Steven, it's good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. James, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Let me see. Sounds like Doom's wife will be able to beat him up. Man, does he still have the power cosmic? Like, I don't know if he still has if he is imbuing her with the power cosmic, then my guess is that he has a little bit of power, but because she's a woman, because, you know, she's imbued with some extra stuff, man, she may be able to take him out. Philip, you could be right about that, brother. Scrolling through, what is it? Scroll Madness is like, yeah, you should have just let me read that one. I like the preview without the details. FF has been good for a couple of them. There you go, Milt. I started reading FF when the title came back after being away for a while. I read maybe the first 5 to 7 issues I collected and read, and then I dropped off. I didn't find it to be all that interesting, to be honest with you, but it sounds like maybe they're about to dial things back up right now. So maybe now is the time to get connected again. Maybe not because of the wedding, but because of the 60th anniversary and them wanting to do some really cool stuff. So, Chris Bigger, come on, brother. Come on. Scrolling through some of the comments here. What is this? I rather the comic reveal the story. Speculators are killing me. Just another reason for 2 weeks old comic to ghost and go for hundreds. Scrolling through some of the comments here, seeing what else people are talking about. Scrolling. What is this? He has to get married if you want Doom 2099 to make sense. I never read Doom 2099, but I'm going to assume that makes complete sense to some people in here who have read Doom 2099. I did not, so you definitely have me at a disadvantage there. But yeah, maybe they are now connecting some dots between now. Well, I guess the present and the past, or is it the future? You know, comics, man, comics. Scrolling through the comments here, seeing what else people are talking about. Steven says, Doom's bride will be from DC, and that's how they're going to do the crossover. There you go. DC dude is in the house. Speaking of DC, it's good to see you, my friend. Scrolling through some of the comments. Scrolling through. Who is that? Master Blaster looking for some details on the Snyder Cut coming up. We are days away, man. We are days away from the Snyder Cut being revealed. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm waiting to see Darkseid on screen. I am super pumped to see Darkseid on screen. I think it's going to be really, really awesome. Elseman, no doubt. No doubt. It seems awkward. Like you're getting married to a subject that's like a subordinate. Like that never really looks good. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. All right. So Doom's wife will, oh no. Never mind. Never mind. I was about to Never mind. All right. So the first thing again was this whole Doom thing going down. I don't know how I feel about knowing in advance what is actually going to happen in a story. Like you don't necessarily know all of the details of it, but you know it, and it doesn't allow for that reveal, that shocking moment, right? And I guess I get it from the publisher standpoint of giving the LCS's advance notice. I get it from the LCS's standpoint to kind of know how many copies of something to order, because again, if they under order because they underestimate and did not know what was happening in the story, they missed that opportunity to actually make some revenue, right? Because very few people are going to allow them to go and order the book if they're even able to get it and then come back and get the book. They're probably going to go to another comic shop, or they're going to jump online and place an order. That's how a lot of people do it. Not everybody, but that's how a lot of people do it. So there is that opportunity loss for the LCS if they do not know in advance that something is actually going to happen. So I get it. From a reader standpoint, part of me would rather it be revealed in the book if I'm reading the book. If I'm not reading the book, then tell me so I can actually get the book and then read the book. So definitely one of those things that is a little bit of a double-edged sword, a double-edged brother. He better get like the kind of prenup where it's like, I want all my stuff back, including the power cosmic, unlike Galactus, which like gives you the power cosmic and then lets you keep it indefinitely, So no, you come in and you leave with what you came in. That's how it should be. And you did not get the power cosmic right in advance. So super honorable nephew in the house. How you doing, brother? He said, what's up, y'all? Hope you're good. I am indeed good. Keeping put out great. You, brother, you are welcome. You are welcome. Thank you for swinging by, my man, and dropping the super chat. Count on it, man. I tell you, I just bought a new external hard drive. I have been suffering for probably more than a year, and mostly because I'm super cheap when it comes to things. I've been suffering with an old external hard drive that was not very fast, not exactly reliable. And I decided that enough was enough. I went ahead and got the Samsung. This thing is super smooth. I've already edited one video in like record time, and yeah, man. So I need to actually get a bigger. Should have gotten the bigger hard drive. I was again being cheap, got the smaller one. Immediately regretted it when I saw how this one performed over the other one. So I don't know how I got on that theme, but whatever. It was super honorable nephew's fault. All right, so that's one of the first things I wanted to talk about, this whole Dr. Doom thing that was going down. Let me go ahead and save this real quick. One of the other things that I wanted to kind of talk about is a growing trend, and it's a growing trend. And, I don't know if this one has a downside. Maybe somebody can come up with a downside. I kind of see it as a good thing. Unlike a lot of stuff, which typically has a positive and a negative, I have not discovered a negative for this one just yet, but this is a growing trend, and this is something that we've spoken about on the channel a couple of times in a few different ways. Most recently with the writer and the co-creator from Excellence, and I'm specifically talking about what is happening with Kickstarter. And this is a new article that just dropped about 2 days ago. And this thing has this article, this guy, Chris from Newsarama, does a really good job. I enjoy his writing. I find him to be factual and less on the side of like make-believe and fantasy and gossip. I like his writing. So he basically is saying here that comic Kickstarters were 24% more successful than other books in 2020. And if you guys remember previously, earlier, a couple of months ago, I actually spoke about the success of Kickstarter as it related to comic book offerings. And I think at the time, Kickstarter for 2020 had brought in about $22 million for comic related properties. And that number, now that they've closed the books on 2020 officially, that number actually looks like $25 million. $25 million has been raised for comic book Kickstarter by comic book people. And I don't want to call them all fans because there could be some speculators and some investors and some other people in there. But I think it really bodes well for, in many ways, for some of these properties to actually get created. And so Kickstarter has closed the books on 2020. And as expected, it was a record year for the comics division. A few months ago, we reported that Kickstarter had already broken their year-over-year record of 16.9 million by October 2020 with 22 million. That's when we spoke about it before. Now with the dust settled, over 25 million was taken in for comics on Kickstarter. And I don't know how much Kickstarter makes off of these different things, but they're definitely making some money. There's no doubt about it. And you can see here that roughly what was brought in was pretty close, if you round up, to about $26 million for 2020. There were 1,700 successful comic projects on Kickstarter in 2020. And you can see below the highest grossing. And right at the top, we've actually spoken about this before. Boom Studios raised $1.4 million for Berserker comic that was just released. What was it, about 2 weeks ago? Co-written by Keanu Reeves. I read it, have a couple of copies of it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as a read. You can see what else is kind of on the list here. The ones that really jump out at me, of course, are like Lady Death. I think there's 2 copies or two offerings by Lady Death, which I think they historically do a lot on Kickstarter, but they raised, I don't know, somebody do the math, about $700,000 or so through Kickstarter programs. And then there's the Michael Turner project down here that raised almost $300,000. So some good stuff here, man. And then they highlight here, it's not just the revenue increases, but also the percentage of successful comic Kickstarter projects has increased. 74% of all comic Kickstarters were successful in 2020, up 5% from the previous year and up 15% from 2016. So again, this is one of those things that it is a trend that we are seeing in comics right now. And because of this incredible success, we can probably assume that this is actually going to continue into the future. I've actually done a couple of Kickstarters. I did my first one for, what was it, like SAV, S-A-V, SAV, like a couple of years ago. I did one for like rock, paper, scissors about a year ago. And then I just recently did the one for Excellence. I did not pull the trigger on their one for $1,000 to get myself into the comic, but that would have been awesome. Did not go that route. But I have supported a couple of these Kickstarter projects, and I have a feeling that many of you, my feeling is that many of you have as well. And it's just interesting the type of money that can be raised. And it's also important to mention here that that is only one slice of the pie, right? We are talking about books. We're talking about comics on that side, right? There's also the toys on the other side. And I have a feeling that Todd McFarlane has also raised a significant amount of money through his various Kickstarter projects, because Spawn is huge. And I'm looking at She Spawn. I don't know if she's here in the room, but my feeling is that when you look at what it is that people are pumping into comic and comic related properties through Kickstarter, it has to be a significant amount of money. And it is very interesting to see. And if I were an indie publisher and had an idea for a comic book or something like that, or even if I was like an established indie company, kind of like a Boom Studios, I'd be using Kickstarter as well. Skybound and Image are also using it because it is a viable way. There you go. Show me the money. They are raking it in, no doubt about that one. So scrolling through, I was going to say Noctera on Kickstarter as well. Anyone? I don't know if Noctera was on there. I'm going to tell you, stay tuned for the video, man, because if you haven't read Noctera, treat yourself. I enjoed it. I don't want to ruin my own video, so I'm going to stop talking. I wish people would have kickstarted DC not to do future. Oh, Chris Bigger, you're so hard. You're so hard. You are hilarious. So scrolling through some of the comments here, see what else you guys are talking about. Scrolling through. Let me see. What is that? You got to kick. What is that? You got to kick that start. There you go. Let me see. Let me see. That deluxe spawn Kickstarter was, man, I'm gonna tell you. I think I'm waiting for She Spawn to unbox this thing. Like, I don't think she's a big person, but like the box was, I swear the box was as big as her. And I'm like, I don't know what you ordered from Todd, but I want you to open it up so I can see what it is inside. And I think she said she had waited, I want to say she had waited at least a year. I think she had waited at least a year for whatever was in that box. And I want to see it. And I'm going to tell you, I have been reading some Spawn, and in some respects, I regret not reading more Spawn because I am actually enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying it. I think that, again, Todd McFarlane with this Spawn universe thing that he is, about to kick off, man. Todd. Then I watched the video from Comic Tom interviewing Todd McFarlane and was thoroughly entertained by that when I was watching that one this morning about Venom and his first appearance. And like my mind was swirling. Scrolling through, seeing what else you guys are talking about here. Scrolling. Hold on. I'm kind of, yes, it is. Yes, indeed it is. I'm telling you, stay tuned for the video. How can Marvel or DC listen to supporters as efficiently as Kickstarter supporters? They can't. Yeah, I don't know. I could certainly start making some stuff up. The thing about it is that in my opinion, and I don't know, Catherine, where that comment came from. So I'm going to like jump in on it and please no one take offense to it because I'm coming in a little bit late on that. Didn't see what came before it. What I would say is that any company that does not listen to their customers is a company that is doing something wrong. It doesn't matter how much money you make or how big or how small you are. You should always take the time to listen to your customers and to be as responsive to your customers as you possibly can be. Now, that does not mean that everything that a customer says that they want, you do, or everything that they ask for that you do. No, it means that you at least hear them, because sometimes people will have some really good ideas that you can implement. Sometimes just the feedback and being receptive to what people have to say is sometimes all that people are looking for. People want to know, did you at least hear me? You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't do it, at least did you hear me? And then can you respond to me? Right. And so if Marvel and DC are not listening to people, that is a mistake. That is definitely a mistake. So scrolling through some of the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. Scrolling, I grabbed the classic Spawn figure, opening it tomorrow. Mark Garcia, I don't know where you're going to be. I don't know where you're going to be opening this box, brother. I don't know if you're on the internets. I don't know where you are. But if you're on Instagram, I welcome seeing some photos of this thing at some point, because I don't know, man. I've watched a lot of these videos with Tom McFarlane talking about how he has essentially revolutionized the figure industry. And I think he has in many respects, right? So I definitely would be interested in seeing some photos of this thing up close. I'm not saying I'm getting into statues. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I came close one time, but I have never pulled the trigger, but I would be interested, Mark Garcia, to see some photos of this thing. Scrolling through, I have not read that one. Carmen is supposed to be a very, very adult comic, not in a sexual nature, but adult themes. I think there is a little bit of nudity in it, but it's not sexual in nature. But it deals with some very adult themes. I think there's like a suicide or something like that in that. I have not read it, but people are raving over that one. And there's a couple of others that dropped this week that people are really talking about. I have not yet had a chance to read. I read Children of the Atom. Have not finished that one, but that was one of the books that I actually read. Is she spawning here? Is she in here? If she's in here, I want to know what's in the box. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Man, I'm going to tell you, David, that interview, I have not watched them all. I watched the one this morning where Tom McFarlane was basically talking about the fact that let me not say, there was a common perception about the first appearance of Venom that to some degree or another, Todd McFarlane challenged. So I would encourage you to watch the video for yourself. I don't want to steal views from another person, so I'm gonna relax. Scrolling through on the comments here. What is it? She spawned on the higher end of the blue ocean when the solo series dropped. Hey, let me take that comment off. Don't ruin my videos. Don't ruin my upcoming videos, man. Let me see. What is this? I really wish I had gotten in on the Spawn Kickstarter last year. Can't find it for under 250 now. Yeah, you probably won't, man. I think that thing's, if you can even find it, people are going to try to get every single dollar out of that. Statues seem to go up in value. They really do, which is a good thing, I think. Scrolling through some of the comments here, Todd did a multiple part interview on Tom's channel just last week. It was so cool to listen to what's coming. Yeah, I think there's 4 parts that have been released thus far. And Tom did a good job. Tom did a good job interviewing him. And I think Tom McFarlane is just who he is. And he always shows up for interviews. So it's like, if you like Todd, watch the videos, because Todd is very much Todd in the videos. And like I said, I watched one of them and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then I need to go back and watch some of the others, because Pretty Fly for a Filipino guy was saying it's very dark. Action figure comedy. How you doing, brother? One of the Bratton brothers up in here, he said, Todd definitely revolutionized action figures, completely changed it. You are correct. And the thing is, what was cool in the interview that Comic Tom 101 did with Todd McFarlane is that he actually acknowledged that but he acknowledged it within the context of comics and wanting to not just do something boring, wanting to do something different, wanting to do something his way. And he kind of acknowledged that it was a little bit of a stupid thing that he did, but that's kind of like him. You know what I'm saying? It is a good interview again. But again, Tom McFarlane, man, is very much an astute business person that I think also pays attention, to my earlier point, pays attention to his customers. He pays attention to the market. He tries to give people something that they don't have. And so you look at what he did with comics. He's kind of sort of done that. He's done it with the action figures. He's done it, again, using the Kickstarter stuff to kind of, introduce some really cool stuff. And that's part of the reason why I'm so excited about the Spawn universe that he is going to be introducing here relatively soon. So I am so off script right now. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable how far off script I am. I do want to backtrack here for a second for those that are coming in a little bit late. Kickstarter is on fire. Kickstarter is on fire for comic book related properties. They closed out the books. Kickstarter did, and they looked at it, and what they realized is that in 2020, they had basically brought in almost $26 million in comic book related properties spread across about 1,800 different projects. And you can see here what leads the list. Right at the top, Boom Studios Berserker raised about $1.4 million. This is the Keanu Reeves project that was rolled out just a couple of weeks ago. And you can see some of the higher grossing projects that are on here. You see like Michael Turner on there. Lady Death is on there like twice. And then of course, Keanu Reeves sitting at the top of the list along with Boom Studios. So I wanted to make sure that I covered off on that because I saw a nice little influx of people kind of come in. So I wanted to make sure that we address that topic. All right. So one of the other things that I wanted to speak on really quickly, and I probably should have marked this article up just a little bit so I could find these sections a little bit easier, but we're going to wing it. We're going to wing it. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a coming. And I saw somebody talking a little bit earlier in the live stream talking about WandaVision and how good WandaVision was and how WandaVision to some degree or another is kind of giving us a glimpse potentially into what the future will actually be for the MCU. Basically, this article right here that was sent over to me by my man Harvey Abel out of Canada is basically saying that Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to basically do the same thing. We've spoken about this show before. This show technically is a movie. They basically filmed it as a movie, and then they chopped it up into episodes. And I think there are 8 episodes. And this thing is basically going to be like a buddy cop movie. That's basically what this thing is. The two of them, Bucky Barnes and Sam, are just going to be two fellas, two cops out there just kind of doing some stuff. And so, We've shown scenes from this in previous live streams, and I think this thing is going to be fun. But it says the Falcon and Winter Soldier stars tease Marvel's epic action mysterious villains, and they kind of talk about here. Let me see if I can find it again. I should have probably marked this thing up so that I can find these sections a little bit easier. But it says you've been watching WandaVision, and you can see that everything is tied together in a way. Our show is a continuation of the story. And it's a side story, and it's also a future story. It is all of those things. And that came from a Sebastian Stan. And I don't know who Sebastian Stan is. I'm not even going to pretend. Maybe that's Bucky. I don't know these guys' names, but that is one of the comments that he made in here. And I'm trying to find the other. There was a couple like solid comments in here. Let me see if I can find it. Much like WandaVision series tease what's to come in the MCU, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier will help carve out a piece for Marvel's Earthbound heroes. And there was a section in here where they actually talked about some of the villains that we might actually see. I'm trying to see if I can find it here. And I think I might have skipped over it. Again, you guys have my apology. I should have marked this thing up. But what's interesting is that they say here, let me see if I can find the top of this thing. It's actually 6 episodes. Sorry about that. That finds Marvel heroes globe-trotting thriller facing off against new threats, including the return of Baron Zemo and possibly the big 3. Androids, aliens, and wizards. So in my head, when you say androids, I automatically think the white, the colorless Vision who flew off at the end of WandaVision. Aliens, who the heck knows? Wizards, that could be any number of people. But again, if you look at it, a continuation of what was done in WandaVision, this kind of sort of makes sense. And there's a lot of people out there that says that the West Coast Avengers is about to fall flat. Again, those books that spiked up in value are about to fall flat. That may not necessarily be the case, especially if this show, if the Falcon and the Winter Soldier kind of picks up where WandaVision left off, and we see the colorless Vision appear in some way, shape, or form, or Wanda appear in some way, shape, or form. It's going to be very interesting how this all plays out. Going back, what is this? Wizards, Doctor Strange, get it. Brother, I don't think he can wear a hat with that cape, right? The neck on that cape and a hat, it would just not look good. Yes, you are correct. That is correct. The aliens are the Skrulls. No doubt about that one. I think that one's kind of sort of confirmed. The wizards could be any number of characters, right? I mean, when I think wizard, I think a male witch. And there are a lot of male witches, if you will, that do mystic type of things that could potentially come over. So again, it's going to be super interesting to see what that actually looks like and how it all plays out. So I scared myself there. I thought my Wi-Fi was on for a minute. Got a little scared there because we all know how that goes. When is Wonder Man going to show up with his sunglasses? Brother, I will be honest with you. I've been reading West Coast Avengers. I've been reading some West Coast Avengers, and I've been reading some Wonder Man stuff. And those eyes of his and those sunglasses are just very, very interesting. Yes, there you go. Well done, brother. Well done. So scrolling down through some of the comments, seeing what else you guys are talking about. Warlock is a male. I think I just said that. Didn't I just say that? It could be. It could be. I mean, I've always believed or thought that a warlock or a wizard. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. I may have just confused myself, but again, this is live, so you guys just have to excuse that. Somebody will Google it and like help us to diagram wizards and warlocks and witches and all that other kind of stuff. So, scrolling through, it may. It'll be very, very interesting. If they don't have some cool surprises in there, I think people might be disappointed. But what they did talk about in that article is that the actors talked about the fact that the way that WandaVision had a lot of excitement in it. And even though it wasn't on a big screen, it was on a small screen. It had a lot of excitement and action in it, and you enjoyed it. they basically said you're going to get the same thing from their show. It's going to be small screen, but it's still going to have a lot of that action stuff in it. And so again, they're basically laying it out there that this thing is going to be good. So we shall see soon enough. And I can't remember exactly when this thing is going to drop. I want to say maybe this summer. I think maybe this summer is when it's actually going to drop. So fingers crossed that it does drop soon, and that it is really awesome, and that it continues where WandaVision left off, because WandaVision was good, and it left us with a whole lot of cliffhangers. So it's going to be very interesting to see kind of how this thing plays out. All right. So with that said, we're going to keep this thing moving. I want to give you guys a rundown of some of the content that is going to be coming out from the channel over the course of this week. And I've already alluded to one of those things. I've already alluded to it. We are specifically talking about Spawn. There is a Spawn video that is going to be dropping this week. Todd McFarlane's announcement about the Spawn universe captured my attention. I've been reading a lot of Spawn as of late, and so we are going to release a video related to Spawn. And that's all that I'm going to say about that. One of the videos that I was supposed to release to you guys last week that I pushed back because I released the top 10 submitted books into CGC video last week. I pushed a video to this upcoming week because I needed to get that video out. And shout out to everybody that watched the top 10 for CGC. That video has been viewed almost 3,000 times and since Friday. So I definitely want to thank folks for checking that video out. It seems to be one that people are enjoying. So that means a lot. So this week I am going to be releasing that video that was pushed from last week, and it is going to be on signed comics. What are signed comics actually worth? I'm going to be doing a haul this week, and then we're also going to have the live Comics Today show on Wednesday. So those are basically the videos that are going to be coming out. I'm going to be releasing a podcast on Monday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific time, and also a blog post on Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And then all of the pre-recorded videos are going to be coming out at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. And then, of course, Comics Today is at 7 p.m. Pacific time. All right. So that's all the content that is going to be coming out from the channel over the course of this week. Yeah, thank you, brother. A lot of people seem to be enjoying that video series. And I had a conversation with the folks at CGC kind of sort of over the weekend, and they were like, are you pleased with the reception to the video? And I was like, yeah, I think it's okay. You know, at the time, I think the videos have been averaging about 1,800 views or something like that, which isn't bad. And I said to them, I want 4,000 views. I want 4,000 views on this video. And when I get that, I'll feel like we're headed down a good path. And sure enough, as of a short while ago, we were at roughly 3,000 views, which is not bad considering that technically this is the first time that I've released the video in actual real time, right? Because the goal is to give it to you in real time. So this is the first one that we've released near time. So I'm very, very pleased with where it's going, to be honest with you. So fingers crossed that we can get to like 4,000, because that would be super dope. Super dope if we can get there. All right. So let's give away a book. And again, shout out to my friends at Go Collect for putting me in a position every single week for more than 100 weeks to be able to give away these really cool books. And this one is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 127. All the books that we give away every single week are valued somewhere between $150 and $200. Sometimes we go a little above, sometimes we go a little bit below, depending upon what we see out there. And unfortunately, because of the crazy prices associated with collectibles right now, we're going to see what the future looks like. Somebody reached out to me earlier today and they were like, Reggie, are you seeing values of books suddenly spiking 20 to 30%? And I was like, it is red ocean. It is red ocean out there in the streets, my friends. All right. So let's go ahead and let's roll some dice and figure out how many times we're going to have to randomize this list. 6. We've rolled 6. Oh, and as a reminder, last week's book is already gone. Last week's book has been released to the person that claimed it. So we're going to randomize this list a total of 6 times. Let me stop sharing that one and let me share this screen so that we can take a look at the list of individuals. So this is the list. And as a reminder, these are all the people that were able to successfully find the video that was released sometime between Monday and Friday. And in one of those videos, there was a phrase. These folks were able to head over to the community tab, find the post where I was talking about that ASM book. They clicked the link, they went to MailChimp, they plugged in 3 pieces of information, including the phrase that was embedded in the in one of the videos that was released that week. And so these are all the folks that were able to successfully do that. All right, so we're going to randomize this thing a total of 6 times. This is 1. Scrolling down, here is 2. This is 3. We're halfway there. That's 4. Scrolling. Here is 5. And the winner of this week's Go Collect giveaway is Sidian TSP, who is actually in the room. Sidian TSP, you, sir, are the winner of this week's Go Collect giveaway book of an Amazing Spider-Man issue number 27. Please send me an email to Regie at regiecollects.com with your screen name, your government name, your mailing address, and I will bundle this book up and send it out to you. I actually put it in a nice new Mylar for you, so super dope. But I will get this mailed out to you, my man. Congrats to you, my friend. And again, make sure you send the email to Regie at regiecollects.com. 1G in both of those Reggies, and I will bundle this up for you. All right. So let me show you guys the book that is going to be given away this upcoming week. And this is a cover that I thoroughly enjoy. I absolutely enjoy the cover of this book. I bought it because I like the cover. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And it is Showcase issue number 79. Gorgeous dolphin cover right here. 12 center. Absolutely love this book. And this book could be yours simply for watching the videos that come out from the channel over the course of the week. And if you do not know how to enter my weekly giveaway, if you search here on YouTube for Regie Collects Go Collect giveaway, there is a video that will walk you through the process. I think there's technically 2 videos that will walk you through the entire process. The most important thing is that you have to be a subscriber of the channel. You have to be a resident of the United States, a resident of Canada, or have a mailing address in the US. Those are essentially the only criteria for getting into the magic of winning one of these books. All right. One other thing, well, maybe there's a couple of things. I don't know. The comic book cleaning kits are back in stock. We were basically back ordered for like a couple of days. We are back in stock. I no longer offer the stylus that, or the stencil that was in there. Those things are super hard to find right now. So those are no longer in there, but I do have a larger brush and a larger eraser that I'm now putting into the comic book cleaning kits. So if you're interested in those, you can find those on regiecollects.com. And as a reminder, there are also other things there that people can pick up: graded comics, raw books, etc., all available to you on regiecollects.com. All right. With that said, I think we're going to wrap this up. Let me go back to the chat real quick. And Dolphin Smooth. There we go. There we go, brother. I love this stuff, man. I love hanging out with you guys, talking a little bit. There's a question here. I love podcasts. Is Go Collect eBay the best place to look for comic prices? Besides eBay, what's the best place website to buy graded comics? So what I would tell you is if you search here on the channel on YouTube for Regie Collects resources, I provide you with several different websites that you can actually check out to find graded comics. If you send me a message on Instagram, I can refer you to a few people that can actually help you out. I will also tell you that I do not use eBay for pricing. I use Go Collect. If you're talking about graded comics, I use Go Collect because I believe that you have to use a pricing aggregating service, a service that basically pulls in data from multiple services, that scrubs that data and looks for fraudulent things that is in there, and then reports that data back out to you in a manner that is helpful. And so if you're only looking at eBay, you're only literally seeing one segment of the market, And yes, it is a big segment of the market, but it's also in many respects an inflated segment of the market. And so it's helpful when you have a pricing aggregator to be able to look at Heritage and Comic Link and also be able to get data from private sellers, right? Dealers, to be able to kind of know what the true price is for something. So can you use eBay? Yes, you can. You absolutely can. I prefer to use Go Collect, which actually pulls in eBay data along with data from other things. If you're talking about raw books, there are other resources to go to, but specifically, I think your question was related to graded comics. So there you go. Scrolling through some of the comments here, seeing what else. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Who was that? Doug's talking about Shortbox. I'm a big fan of Shortbox, no doubt. My comic shop and IG, all great resources. And again, if you search here on the channel for Regie Collects resources, there is a video which also provides you with some additional resources into besides the aforementioned, which I all support as well. Shortbox is somebody that I work with, so I definitely dig those guys, and I order from my comic shop often. All right. With that said, I'm going to wrap this thing up. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me just a little bit. Certainly, if you guys need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.